What is up, y'all? It's your girl Slush. I wanted to show you guys the very first slush ropes that started it all. This is not the first flow rope that I made. However, this is the first flow rope that I made and fell in love with. So prior to me, like, putting this rope together, I just had a bunch of flow ropes that were just sketchy as fuck. So, and when I say sketchy, it just didn't feel right, you know? And so anyway, I'm just sharing with you guys that yesterday was my 3rd-year anniversary, and I just want to say thank you to all of you guys, just supporting, like what I'm doing, trusting the vision for the future for the entire community, and yeah, and just being a good ass person. Like, I think that's been like my thing when kind of like engaging with this community, is like everyone just seems like they're good people, good vibes, and yeah. Anyway, in this video we're going to be talking about wear and tear, what to expect. I'm gonna dive deep. I'm gonna actually show you guys a rope that is 4 years old, that's gone through a lot of shit. And then there's also comparing it to the same model, but brand new, no use, and so that you guys can compare it side to side. Before I go on, I did just want to put a disclaimer out there that in this video, everything that I'm going to say are only going to be 2 things. One, I'm only going to be talking about Slush Ropes products, and number 2, I'm also going to be talking about my experience as a fellow flow me, using other flow ropes that are not slush ropes. So this could be like WEC method rope, like the RMT rope, or let's say winding ropes, right? So that is just a disclaimer. I want to put it out there. I am not speaking for every single company out there, because that's also disrespectful and not fair. I'm only an expert in my own experience and my own products. So yeah, let's get to it. So this right here is my 4-year-old electric squeeze. This rope has been with me everywhere on this planet, international, local, different states, East Coast, West Coast, up and down, all around. Oh, that was a WEC method thing. Oh, that was great. But yeah, it's been with me everywhere. And I wanted to show you guys what this looks like. And then before I kind of, go deep into this, I'm going to just show you a fresh pair, same model, same rope, but just never used. So this rope right here is a fresh pair of the electric squeeze. As you guys can see, very, very different from each other in terms of diameter. So the first question that has been coming up a lot recently from community members is if the expansion right here is normal. So the expansion is normal. I just want to make sure I answer this like in the most correct way. The expansion is normal, and that applies for any rope. I'm not even just talking about like flow ropes. Like, it could be like a battle rope, it could be a climbing rope, things like that. It's very normal. So ropes are usually used under tension or friction. So for example, climbing rope, right? When you're using a climbing rope, that is under some sort of tension, and there's also like some sort of friction happening in case you are like actually like reeling it in or something, right? And then in the case of flow ropes, there's a lot of friction happening because the rope is hitting the ground. That's one. And then if you're someone like me who prefers holding the flow ropes right here on top of the handle, there's also that type of friction here. It's not as much as the center of the rope, but yeah, it's definitely friction, because I mean, think about it, right? When you're holding it, it's like that. And so as an example, I'm going to show you guys this 4-year-old electric squeeze, and if I continue to do this over time, right? I'm just like exaggerating for the sake of the video. Like, let's just pretend this is like time lapse, you know, fast forward, you're using it a lot, whatever, whatever, and you stop, right? It's very normal that the threads, that the sheath, this is like the sheath, like the cover or the braid of the rope, it's very normal for it to be disturbed. I think that's like the best word to use. And again, that's just friction. It's just what happens, you know? And there is not really a way to keep your flow ropes in brand new condition all while using the rope. I know that sometimes, you know, some people do prefer their ropes like never touching the floor, or, you know, they use it in a specific way and they want to make it clean all the time. And yeah, more power to those who do that and do prefer that. However, most people are probably not going to have that type of capacity to upkeep the rope. And when they say upkeep, it's like making sure it's clean, never, no stains or anything like that. For me personally, I do encourage everyone, and this is also why I put a lifetime guarantee on all of my flow ropes, is I encourage everyone to use it, you know, use it what it's for. Grow with the rope. And that's also the same reason why when if you gave me a choice, like you're like, all right, Slush, choose one, brand new or this rope right here, I am gonna choose this any day. I don't want this, I want this. And for me, the reason for this is, one, when I look at this, I see, yo, that's 4 years of practice right here. This is 4 years of my hard work. This is what my hard work looks like. And this is a piece of, you know, my journey, you know, for me to touch and hold. And, you know, if I feel like, you know what, I just want to retire it, I can. But dude, I still use this till this day, and it's my favorite rope. It's just what it is. I actually remember, this is like a side thing, but I remember one of the workshops that I did in 2022 in Austin. Someone wanted to buy my ropes, and I told him, like, yeah, here are the ropes, you know, like here are the ropes that I'm selling. And they were like, no, I want your rope because I like that color. And they were talking about this one, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, you know, like this is used, I can't sell it to you. And they're like, no, used is fine, you know, that's fine with me. And you know, I was like, I don't know, you know, I don't know if I want to like sell it, because this is, you know, this is kind of like just a reflection of my journey. And she's like, yeah, you know, I'll even pay you more for it. And I was like, oh, and eventually I had to decline it because, you know, at the end of the day, like, the years that I've put into this, I can't replace that, you know, with money. And I do encourage you guys to kind of look at your ropes in that light as well, of like, hey, my flow ropes look so beat up, and it's because you've been using it. But yeah, so going back to it, just wear and tear. Certain models from slush ropes are going to expand more than my other products. So if you are interested in this type of feel, like a rope that expands, I would definitely check out like Slush Melon, Throttle, Electric Squeeze, and Flame and Bolt. Like those models right there, they're all the same braiding profile, same material, same blend. And you know, if you don't like it expanding, I would look into ropes that are much more firm or stiff. I'm not sure if people like actually receive the word stiff as a good way. So let me know if I tell you like this rope is stiff, like, do you think that's a good thing? Maybe firm is a better word, you know, but you guys get the idea. Firm or stiff. And so, yeah, that is one. And then the second thing too is, you know, how do I prevent ropes from expanding? I think that if you wanted to expand your ropes, or I'm sorry, I think that if you wanted to keep your rope like from expanding, I would say don't use it. Yeah, I would, that's definitely like my, that's definitely my answer. I'm not trying to be like sarcastic, but there's just no way, like in terms of friction or tension, what the ropes are made out of, which by the way, it's made out of countless of threads that we can't even keep up with. Like if you look at this, in every single, you see how there's like two on each and then it starts braiding? In one single thing, it's made out of countless of threads. So it's normal, like if you are using it a lot, right, that's gonna happen. Like there is gonna be a little like expansion into it. And yeah, that's also what makes the rope, you know, like soft as well. Yeah, I was actually talking to someone about it. You know, they were concerned about their rope, and I was just telling them to kind of like imagine, you know, like a backpack, right? So here, let me grab a backpack. So this backpack right here, let's just say this backpack represented the diameter, the size, how thick or how thin the rope is, right? So let's just say this is the backpack, and we fill it up just halfway and we zip it. Same backpack, feels soft, right? Like it's like there's like a little space, so there's a little give into it. However, if I decide, you know what, I'm gonna put, you know, I'm gonna put this in here, I'm gonna just find a bunch of other random stuff, I'm gonna put this in here, put this in here, put this in here, I don't even know what I'm putting, put more stuff in here. I'm like having a hard time finding stuff to put in. But yeah, let's just say I put it like this, right? It's the same backpack, but when I touch it, it's a lot more firm, right? You're like, oh, but it's still the same backpack. So it's kind of like the same example when it comes to rope. You can have the same size. Let's say both ropes are 12 millimeters in diameter. It doesn't mean that they are going to be the same. Like size is just the beginning, you know. There's also the material that it's made out of, and also the blend of the material. And then there's also the braiding profile, which is how tight or how loose the braiding is. So again, going back to the whole backpack thing, if we were to make a firm rope, we would fill this up, you know, to the brim. Same backpack, same size, right? Same backpack, but different contents inside. Whereas if I was to remove more stuff from it, it's going to feel different, because now there's more room to play with, right? So that's just one of them. Not all of the slush ropes are going to be the same, and I think that's kind of like the point, right? Like I wouldn't just release like, here's 30 colors of the same thing, and it provides you nothing different from the last rope that you got. And so at least for me, I want to make sure everyone is getting like their own little experience from it. I want to make sure that as much as as much as I can. Like if you were to buy like this specific rope and you were to get something else, that you do find like, oh yeah, like this rope feels very soft, this one expands a lot, this one is a lot more firm, doesn't expand too much, you know. I want different types of characteristics kind of like at play, because that's what makes an effective catalog in my own, you know, in my own experience. But yeah, speaking of which, I'm trying to think of like other questions too that people have been asking me. But yeah, I guess I'll just go back to like rope care and wear and tear. I really, really want to emphasize that there is nothing that you can or we can do to keep the rope in brand new condition without you using it. Did I say that right? What I'm trying to say is you can't keep it in brand new condition or expect for it to stay in brand new condition while you use the rope as well. You know, it's very binary. If you use it, it's going to show, and if you don't use it, it's going to continue to stay new. Yeah, and with that said, you know, when you are using the ropes, it doesn't matter if you're using it in carpet, turf, outdoors, wherever, there will always be some sort of friction going on. And even though the carpet might be softer in the impact, it doesn't mean that there's going to be no like friction happening, right? There is, maybe not as much if you like compared to if you were go to outside, like at a parking lot or something, right? Like maybe the gravel is not as smooth, right? There's going to be more friction. Yeah, and so friction, keep that in mind. Sometimes tension, just depending on how it's being used. And to wrap it all up, you know, like if you ever have any questions, don't understand something, I am always an email away, a DM away. I'm always happy to have conversations with everyone, because as this movement is growing, you know, so are the people in it, and the experiences of each and every one of you that, you know, that share, you know, share experience with me helps me also gain more insight, you know, as to, you know, like kind of like what's going on. And so thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that I was able to answer as much, you know, as much as I can for you. And yeah, see you guys later.